because there's something else happening in consciousness that I believe is going to take place in such a way that we're going to transform this into something a lot smoother than what the original prophets thought. I believe this at this point, though. There was a long time when I didn't believe it. But the changes are happening so fast and in so many ways, and many things that I have not talked about on this program, that I feel very confident that we are going to be able to make this transition very smoothly.
Do you want to give us a hint as to why? A lot of people are worried about this.
Well, it's just years and years and years of studying this and looking at it and watching all the way that consciousness is moving. You see, our world that we think is so solid, that we think is just the way it is an illusion. This is becoming clear from what's happening around the world with the psychics and the many things that are occurring. And it's just light. It is a creation of our thoughts and the way that we perceive. And if we were to change the way we perceive, everything would change. And there are certain things happening now at this very moment that are going to change our perception very quickly. I'm not just talking about the children that we were talking about, which will also change it, or many other things that are occurring. For example, in the Bible, the very first paragraph of the Bible, it talks about that the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, and how we were baptized into water through the Christian belief. And there's something about water being alive. And right now, a water has appeared on the earth that is a living water, that is conscious. And this water is amazing. And it's coming out of Istanbul, Turkey, from Sufi masters there. And when the world finds out what this water is, just this alone is going to have an impact beyond like anybody could ever believe.
Of course, we've heard of holy water. What is this water you're referring to?
This is what's called superionized water, and it goes into any polluted body of the world and can heal it within 2 months, completely turn it back to the way it was 10,000 years ago.
So just put a vial of the super water into a polluted lake and it will cleanse itself?
In 4 days, you'll be able to see 60 feet into water like this distilled water. And they just went into the Izmir Bay in Turkey, and which is the most polluted body of water in the world. It looks like oil that bubbles on top, and completely clean that whole bay. They're about to do a showcase in Turkey, cleaning up the entire country of Turkey, which is extremely polluted, a $1.4 billion project.
Who's doing this? Who's got the super water in?
It's this man named Ayhan Doyak, who is bringing this force to the world. He's this beautiful person, and he has found a way to heal the planet, and it's bringing conscious water back into our lives. I was in a room in Washington, D.C., with the CIA, the FBI, the United States Air Force, the United States Army, 15 other major groups within our government, all sending their highest technicians and their chemists to witness this water. And they saw things they'd never seen before in their lives. They took oil. You know water and oil never mix, right?
Never mix.
But not this. They took oil straight out of an oil can, put it into a little vial, put water, shook it up, and in 3 seconds, the oil was no longer on the planet. Instead of oil in that vial is protein and amino acids.
So it just kind of fell to the bottom?
It just converts it. It goes from black to white. Oil is the end of all life. It's the end product of millions of years of life. It comes in contact with this water, and instantly it's proteins and amino acids, which is the beginning of life. And every chemical reaction it goes into, it converts it into anything that's good for life, making sure that it never harms the things that are part of life, and always bringing the pH of the substance back to 7.0, no matter what it starts in.
Where did this guy come up with this super water? Did he develop in a laboratory? Did he?
I'm going to have to let him say that himself, because it's a spiritual story.
Is it? Okay.
And he will.
Does he come
the United Nations is aware of this now. 9 major countries, including Russia, is beginning to use this to clean up the world. And we are about to participate throughout South America to do a similar thing. And when people really know what this water is and what it really means, it's going to have its effect, as I think the world will see very soon.
Michael in Portland, Oregon. Hello, you're on with Drunvalo.
Hello, Michael.
Drunvalo, a lot of several issues came up to deal with the last one. Aaron Rosewater, do you know him?
Yes, I do.
Aaron Rosewater in Hawaii, and he was supercharging water there with flower of life and geodesic patterns put in aluminum discs, about 15-inch in diameter discs, and three different, at various levels, but three discs put together about 6 inches apart, and then he put them in the Hilo Bay and other areas, and then take that, and then it would leave it there for a day or so, then take the water out of there, and he brought some of it back to Oregon. Now, Oregon had a big Willamette Valley, a big flood here a couple of years ago, and it with the water quality of the valley was terrible. It was very polluted, probably the worst it's ever been. And they put this water in it, and in a few days it started clearing up noticeably. And I haven't talked to him in about a couple of years since now. But have you heard of that?
No, but I've heard of many other ways of doing a similar kind of thing, of creating ionized. It's really what's happening is you're creating what's called ionized water. And there's different levels and stages of this ionized water. And I believe that the flower of life pattern could do that.
Why would ionization have this tremendous effect, though?
Well, you see, normal water that's in a lake or a river, it all has to do with the amount of electrons. And that's another whole subject. But normal water in a lake or a river has the outer shells have an even amount of electrons. Water that moves through a pipe that we are drinking primarily or washing in is missing one electron. It's called unstructured water, which is associated with all disease. That was found in the University of Georgia, that all unhealthy cells are surrounded by unstructured water, and all healthy cells are always surrounded by structured water. But ionized water has one extra electron, and as soon as one extra electron is in there, then the water becomes more conscious and is able to do things that seemingly look like miracles. But this water from Turkey has 3 extra electrons, and the effects of this water are absolutely incredible. I mean, if you were to take a motor, for example, that was completely had carbon all over it, and just sprayed this on it, instantly all the carbon will be gone.
You saw that happen?
Yes, I've seen it happen. You can take gasoline fires that are almost impossible to put out, and you spray this water on it, and it turns it out instantly, just like a light switch.
What about healing effects of this water?
Well, the healing effects are only what we have heard, and I have not drank this water, but people are. According to the people in Turkey, they have healed 10,000 people in Turkey of every known disease in the world. I don't know if that's true or not, but I guess we're going to find out because there are people beginning to distribute this water throughout the United States.
Do you know about the Schauberger water implosion spiraling process?
Yes, I do.
And do you know if there's any connection between that and the superionizing of water that you're referring to?
I actually don't know that for sure. The Schauberger technology is extraordinary. It's another water technology. It's free energy. We have Schauberger developed this in World War II, and if he had completed it in time, they would have probably won World War II, the Germans rather. But this is an extraordinary thing. It would produce unlimited energy, and we know someone who has a Schauberger device running that produces 2,000 horsepower from a sealed engine with nothing in it, nothing coming out of it. And it is a wave of the future when our governments allow it to come out. Right now, they're not going to let it.
Michael, you had a quick question about children, these children and their consciousness. I need to take a break after that.
Okay. I've been working in children's liberation for about 15 years, and I sent you some information, Drunvalo, on this and other Earth Grid things. And what I've been doing has to do with yoga, pregnancy, conscious conception, bonding and water birthing, and I was wondering if, and social equality between the parents and the children. I was wondering if you have any experience with this, because your information seems to support it.
Yes. Everything you just mentioned is one of the highest levels of understanding of what birthing is about. We don't understand things right now, so we give birth at home. It was Tchaikovsky in Russia who developed underwater birthing. But to begin with, even before the underwater birthing, when a mother and a father, a husband and a wife, see each other as a divine being, and the conception begins in a divine place where they realize that their child that comes in is a divine being also, that this procedure of Tantra is holy and sacred and is one of the most ancient forms of enlightenment known in the world. It began, as far as I know, way back in Lemuria, a long time ago. But if the child is simultaneously also birthed in water, inside of water, the effects are amazing. Over 20,000 people were born in Russia underwater, under Tchaikovsky's direction. And these children have IQs primarily above 150. They have very high emotional strength bodies, and their immune systems are extremely strong. They're superior human beings. And then they discovered even more of this associated with dolphins and dolphin birthing underwater, which is another subject. France has also began in this, and they have had over 20,000 births underwater, experiencing the same kind of things that they found in Russia.
And it's interesting now that hospitals today offer certain birthing rooms with hot tubs, right?
This is new. There's over 100 hospitals in the United States. However, when it first came out, initially the United States made it illegal. But now they're allowing this to take place in certain things. If you do this, you have very little pain. At the very end of it, Tchaikovsky sent a woman over that had been working with him for a long time.
I have to take a break, so tell me the rest of the story
Okay,
when
all
we
right.
come back. As we continue with Drunvalo. His new book is The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. I'm Laure Lee. Lawrence Gardner, later tonight. Right now, we continue our conversation with Drunvalo. You were saying that this Russian who brought us underwater birthing, you were talking about one case history. Could you finish that story, please?
Yeah. This is his latest work. It's actually about 3 or 4 years old from now, but at that time it was his latest work. And in underwater birthing, one of the main things is that the woman experiences no pain or little pain, almost none. But they learned something, and this is what he was trying to teach me, and I didn't quite understand it. But they learned that a woman can not only not have pain, but something else can happen. And so he showed me 2 videos of 2 women giving birth in these large acrylic tanks that were about 4 feet deep and about 8 feet long, and they were filled with water, and she was inside of it. And I watched the birth of 2 different women, 2 different babies, and these women not only didn't have pain, they had about a 25 or 30-minute long orgasm. They were totally in pleasure giving birth. And this only makes sense to me because the baby is born in pleasure, and it only makes sense that it should be given in pleasure too. And this is truly possible. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Huh, that could popularize underwater birthing.
Definitely.
Next call comes from Mr. Mechanic in Redding, California. Hello, Mr. Mechanic.
Yeah, hi, Laura.
How are you?
Great show.
Yeah.
Well, I had a question about who's marketing that super ionized water.
It looks like there's going to be a company called AD & Associates out of Colorado who is going to market it here in the United States.
Oh.
And there is another company in Chicago that is going to market the biomedical, pharmaceutical, and cosmetic aspects of this. I
have to
don't
see
know
it
their
to believe
names,
it.
though. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. We'll find them on the net, I guess, huh?
We may be the marketers for the rest of the world if our contracts go through.
Well,
Our only interest is not making money. Our interest is cleaning up the planet, and that's it.
Well, I had a question about
our thoughts and the way that we perceive. And if we were to change the way we perceive, everything would change. And there are certain things happening now at this very moment that are going to change our perception very quickly. I'm not just talking about the children that we were talking about, which will also change it, or many other things that are occurring. For example, in the Bible, the very first paragraph of the Bible, it talks about that the Spirit of God moved upon.
Do you want to give us a hint as to why a lot of people are worried about this?
Well, it's just years and years and years of studying this and looking at it and watching all the way that consciousness is moving. You see, our world that we think is so solid, that we think is just the way it is an illusion. This is becoming clear from what's happening around the world with the psychics and the many things that are occurring. And it's just light. It is a creation face of the waters. And how we were baptized into water through the Christian belief. And there's something about water being alive. And right now, a water has appeared on the earth that is a living water, that is conscious. And this water is amazing. And it's coming out of Istanbul, Turkey, from Sufi masters there. And when the world finds out what this water is, just this alone is going to have an impact beyond like anybody could ever believe.
Of course, we've heard of holy water. What is this water you're referring to?
This is what's called superionized water, and it goes into any polluted body of the world and can heal it within 2 months, completely turn it back to the way it was 10,000 years ago.
So just put a vial of the super water into a polluted lake and it will cleanse itself?
In 4 days, you'll be able to see 60 feet into water like this distilled water. And they just went into the Izmir Bay in Turkey, and which is the most polluted body of water in the world. It looks like oil that bubbles on top, and completely clean that whole bay. Because there's something else happening in consciousness that I believe is going to take place in such a way that we're going to transform this into something a lot smoother than what the original prophets thought. I believe this at this point, though. There was a long time when I didn't believe it. But the changes are happening so fast, and in so many ways, and many things that I have not talked about on this program, that I feel very confident that we are going to be able to make this transition very smoothly.